Okay, today is August 5th.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk. Bill's going to talk about his AA adventure.
No. It's not
So
an
why don't
adventure.
you start your story?
Huh?
Why don't you start your AA story?
Yeah. Got questions to ask?
Huh?
Got questions to ask?
Yeah, just talk about your AA story. Like you do at your AA meeting.
Oh. Wow. How I got to AA in the first place. You can't get to AA unless you're a boozer. Out of control boozer. When you're a boozer, the police come along and smell you and take you off to jail. And that's what happened to me. I was walking down Niagara Street. Is that where we live, Joe?
Yeah.
Niagara Street. About a block away from home. Police come along and picked me up and took me to jail. They had a little room all by itself there with a cot in it. Put me in there and locked the door. So in the morning, they took us off and I stood before old Judge Mac McKenna. And he said, "What's he doing here? He didn't do nothing to be in jail." Well, Lil was there and she said, "He's a good enough guy, but he drinks too much." And the judge said, "Have you got too much pride to go to Alcoholics Anonymous?" I'd heard about it, but I didn't know nothing about it. He said, "You go across the hall and see what you can do about your drinking." This was April the 9th in 1961. So I went across the hall. Vince Martin and 6 or 7 other people were there. And they were talking about how they were drunk and they were recovered in AA. On that day, April the 9th, in 1961, I got struck sober, and I've been sober ever since. Now, when you get sober in AA, you go to them AA meetings. And, well, you go to them discussion meetings, everybody tells part of their story. I told part of mine. And somebody said, "Did you ever speak at one of these AA meetings?" I said, "I got a brother-in-law who's done it a few times, but I never have. I ain't been in it long enough to even know what it is." So he said, "We got a speaker meeting down here, a little one. You can come and do that for it. Would you do that?" He said, "Well, I got to start somewhere." So I went and, I can't even remember where it was now. I did a little AA meeting. Got along apparently pretty good. Because somebody at the meeting said, "We got a speaker meeting over here. Would you come and do that?" Why not? So I went, I did another one. From then on, every time I turned around, somebody would ask me to go somewhere to speak.
So what did you talk about at your speaker meeting?
my story. That's all I can talk about. My story. How I was a bad drunk and how I got struck sober. And how I met the power greater than ourselves who keeps me sober, keeps me alive. Come to think of it too. So that's all you talk about. Got nothing else to talk about. So I spoke in places like Florida. Did one meeting over there. I did about 4 meetings in a place called Cincinnati, Ohio. I did one in Ottawa, Canada. That one, I did the meeting, and my friend Jack Hayford took the tape to Germany with him. He played it at one of the German AA meetings, and they liked it so much, they copied it and sent it to every AA meeting in Germany. When Jack come back and I saw him, he said, if you ever get to Germany, they know who you are. Well, it ain't like you'll ever get back there. And I got itchy feet one day. Decided I go to Australia. Lived in Brisbane for a year. Worked with a guy by the name of Topping. Forgot his first name.
Lori.
Lori. Yeah, Lori. Yeah. Went for a visit to Cairns. Liked it so much, I moved up there with all my stuff. And I worked with a bricklaying outfit called Pecky. Steve Pecky was the big wheel. So I stayed there 4 years. And then one day I decided I'd come home. So got myself a plane fare to Vancouver, Canada. Always wanted to see Western Canada. I said, here's my chance. Vancouver, I got there, went in the bus terminal, and there was a bus flight all the way from Vancouver to Niagara Falls, Ontario. So I got a ticket to ride home on that thing. It was only $99. Of course, you had to feed yourself on the way. But I am sitting there with $1,700 worth of Australian food. Australian money. I had enough I had the $99. All right, so bought the ticket to Niagara Falls, Ontario. And we started across on the bus. We started across Canada. Got to a little place called Shenley, where some of the guys I was in the service with lived in that little town. It was a city, but compared to the other ones, it was a little town. And I saw a bank there, the Royal Bank of Canada. So I took my Australian money in there, asked them if they change this money into Canadian money. So that's what they did. And I continued all the way back across Canada to Toronto. My destination, I wanted to end up in Buffalo. I was in Toronto, and I went in I was walking through the bus terminal, and there was a bus there with a sign on it, Buffalo, New York. No, it was Toronto. So I said, well, that's part of the way. So I bought a ticket. Actually, I had a ticket for Niagara Falls, Ontario. But it's hard to get from Niagara Falls, Ontario to Buffalo, New York. It's all right when you get a car, but I didn't have a car yet. So I bought the ticket. I had the ticket. Got off the bus in Toronto, and there was another bus sitting there with Buffalo, New York on it. I said, that's where I want to go. I bought another ticket to Buffalo. 2 or 3 hours later, I was in Buffalo. Knocked on.
Mike's?
Huh?
Was it Mike's door?
I think it was Mike. Knocked on his door. He let me in, and I was all mixed up at the time. You know, when you move from one hemisphere to another. I was still operating on the southern hemisphere, and I was in the northern hemisphere. So I sleep all day and stay awake all night. Eventually, I got straightened around. I got used to the northern hemisphere, northern hemisphere. So I looked around and got myself a job. So here I am, back in Buffalo.
Go way back in time.
Yep.
When you guys, after you guys got sober, you started a group in Buffalo. You and Lil.
No, I didn't start the group. The group was already going. But we joined the group, and since we only lived a couple of blocks from where the church was, when it come time to change the leadership, they voted me and Lil in. Yeah. It was called the Miracle Group. The Delaware Avenue Church.
So you told a story about how you were, I think, driving back from Niagara Falls or something, and then something happened and you stopped the car where the Lord spoke to you. Tell that story.
It was earlier.
I can't remember which one it was. Can't remember it, John.
Okay. So tell more about your AA story.
Oh, well, I did a lot of speaking all over the place.
Yeah. And then you were in AA in Arizona and then California and Australia?
Yeah.
How long?
How long have you been sober now?
50,
7.
50s, coming up 57. I'm working on my 57th year. I'm only a couple of weeks into the 57th year. So I've been sober 56 years. 2 or 3 weeks.
I think you missed that by one, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think you've been sober 57 years, not 56.
No, I've not finished the 57th year yet. I'm only in it 2 weeks.
No, Dad. It's August. It's not April. It's August.
I know it.
You got your 57th chip this year.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
We gave it to you.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm here sober longer than I thought it was.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay. I got told by the Lord, keep doing what you're doing, you'll be all right. Can't beat that for advice.
Nope.
Okay, let's stop this one for a minute.
What?
With the church, you're a very religious guy.
Yeah. Well, you just go to church. I wasn't no officer or anything. I just went and listened to the sermon, dropped some money in the collection plate, and went home. That's all. I can't tell you how many churches I've been in because I can't remember them all. But I did a lot of them.
But that played a big part in your staying sober, right?
Oh, yeah.
So talk a little bit about that.
Oh, staying sober in church?
Yeah.
What? I was already sober. I got sober in AA. Never drank again. So when I went to church, I was doing the salvation of my soul. That's about all I can say about that. You know what churches are like. I just came from a church service now.
So your mom and dad were religious, right? That's where you started becoming very religious, right?
My mom and dad, not too much. No, my grandmother were. And I lived with them for a while. They're the ones that got me started. I was living with Grandpa Tobicoe, and I was 5 years old. We went to church, and Wilbur Montour was the preacher, and when he made the altar call, I responded. And I've been a Christian since I've been 6. That's all. What do you do when you're a Christian? Well, I belong to AA too, so I go to both AA and the church. Some of them guys, they can only go to one church. If I live anywhere near it, I don't care. As long as they talk about Jesus and the Lord. If they didn't talk about them, I didn't go again. They don't last long. They don't talk about the Lord. Because people are looking for that power greater than themselves. And only the Lord has all power, and that's who you're looking for.